It was a quiet night in the small town of Ridgeview, nestled beneath the sprawling expanse of the Appalachian Mountains. Officer Jameson, the town's night watch, was sitting in the stillness of the police station, his eyes scanning the tranquil streets under the soft glow of the streetlights. However, tranquility proved to be a fickle friend. It got shattered by the piercing ring of a phone call. A sense of dread washed over him as he picked up the receiver. On the other end was a voice, shaking with fear, painting a picture of an unseen terror lurking in the darkness. "Please, you have to help me. There's something outside my window," the caller gasped out, their words echoing in the silent station. His blood turned to ice. He reassured the caller, his voice steady despite the chills running down his spine. As he dispatched a patrol car to the scene, one question haunted his thoughts. What could inspire such terror in the dead of night? When the patrol car arrived at the address provided, they found themselves staring at an eerie tableau of darkness and silence. The house, an old, weather-beaten structure, stood ominously in the moonlight, its windows reflecting back the ghostly pallor of the night. Inside they found the caller. She was huddled in the corner of a dimly lit room, her body trembling like a leaf caught in a storm. Her eyes, wide and glassy with terror, darted towards the window, but when the officers followed her gaze, they found nothing. Just the empty, quiet street outside, bathed in the faint glow of a solitary streetlight. Confusion furrowed their brows, but they knew better than to dismiss her fears. They began a thorough search of the house, their footsteps echoing ominously in the silent corridors. Each room was a tableau of normalcy, yet something felt off. It was like a chill creeping up their spines, an unseen presence that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. Room after room, they found nothing. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of any intruder. But the woman's terror was real. It was palpable. It hung in the air like a specter, refusing to be ignored. As they left the house, the officers exchanged uneasy glances. Their minds whirled with unanswered questions. What had caused such terror in the woman? And why was the house so unnaturally quiet? It was as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting for something to happen. The House of Shadows, as it would come to be known, was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma. Its secrets, buried deep within its silent walls, were yet to be uncovered. As the patrol car pulled away, the officers couldn't shake off the chilling sensation that had settled in their bones. Yet the sense of dread lingered in the air, a palpable presence that refused to be ignored. It was a chilling reminder that in the small town of Ridgeview, not everything was as it seemed, and sometimes the most terrifying things are those that we cannot see. As they left the house, Jameson couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The fear in the caller's voice echoed in his mind, a chilling reminder of the unseen terror that had gripped the quiet town of Ridgeview. Every shadow seemed to hold a secret, every whisper of the wind a hidden message. The officers moved in a trance-like state, their minds consumed by the unsettling events of the night. Their usual cheery banter was replaced by a tense silence, their laughter swallowed by the thick air of mystery that hung over them. Jameson glanced back at the house, its dark silhouette a stark contrast against the moonlit night. A shiver ran down his spine as he thought about the caller huddled in fear inside, their eyes wide and filled with terror. He knew then, without a doubt, that there was something more to this case than met the eye. An unseen force, perhaps, that lurked in the shadows of Ridgeview, preying on the fear of its inhabitants. It was a chilling thought, one that threatened to consume him if he let it. The drive back to the station was a quiet one, the only sound the hum of the engine and the intermittent crackle of the police radio. The streets of Ridgeview were deserted, the town seemingly holding its breath as it waited for the dawn. Jameson couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as they navigated the empty roads. The town he once knew seemed foreign, its familiar landmarks cloaked in an eerie darkness. He couldn't shake off the feeling that they were being watched, that every move they made was being scrutinized by unseen eyes. Back at the station, Jameson sat at his desk, his mind racing with thoughts of the night's events. He couldn't shake the feeling of dread that had settled in his gut, a constant reminder of the unseen terror that lurked in the shadows. And though the night may have ended, the true terror had only just begun. For in the quiet town of Ridgeview, the line between reality and nightmare was blurred, and the unseen terror was just waiting to strike again. The police, when they make sure there's no intruder in the house and are leaving, are startled by a blood-curdling scream that pierces the stillness of the night. The sound is so intense it causes the windows to shudder, threatening to crack under the pressure. Without a second's hesitation, they turn on their heels and rush back into the eerie silence of the house, their hearts pounding against their chests like war drums. The scream echoes in their ears, a haunting reminder of the terror that awaits them inside. They find the woman in the throes of agony, her face pale and her chest stained a deep crimson red, her eyes wide with fear, meet the officer's gaze, and she musters the last of her strength to deliver a chilling warning. In a final whisper, barely audible over the sound of their own heartbeats, she says to the police officer, "Be careful, it's behind you."